Have you ever just felt this pull? A sense that there's something more to your own life, a deeper level you're meant to explore? Yeah, I think a lot of us have. So today, we're going to dive into exactly that, the search for a guide or a guru on that very personal journey.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You feel like you're moving, you're definitely learning things, but you've got this nagging feeling that you're on a journey with no map. The destination feels kind of hazy, and the path forward, not so clear. It's in moments just like that the idea of finding a guide really starts to bubble up.
And this search, well, it almost always leads us to two really fundamental questions that pretty much everyone on a path of self-discovery ends up asking. So let's explore them together.
Okay, so here they are, the two big ones. Do I really need a guide? And if I do, what's the risk of becoming too dependent? Let's tackle that first one because it's the biggie. Is a guru even necessary?
To answer that, we've got to talk about the difference between knowing something in your head and truly experiencing it in your bones. And there's this incredible story about a legendary figure, Adi Shankara, that just illustrates this perfectly. I mean, this guy had a level of understanding that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
Just think about that for a second. At 8 years old, he had intellectually mastered concepts that scholars spend entire lifetimes debating. But here's the fascinating part. For all his incredible wisdom, he knew his knowledge had hit a wall. So what happens when even the most brilliant mind realizes it can't go any further on its own?
And that right there, that gets to the absolute heart of it. The spiritual journey isn't just about learning stuff, it's about experiencing it. Shankara needed a guide to help him take that final, crucial step from simply knowing to truly being.
And this idea of direct transmission, it's not just a one-off story. Take Swami Vivekananda, for example. He talked about how a single touch from his guru completely shattered his perception of reality, literally launching him into a new state of awareness. See, it wasn't about learning a fact, it was about having an experience transmitted directly.
So this really redefines what we think a guru is, doesn't it? They're not just a teacher sharing information. They're more like a catalyst, someone who provides that essential boost you need to cross the barrier from just intellectual understanding to direct lived experience.
Okay, so it seems like a guide is pretty essential for that final step, but this brings up a potential trap, a real danger, which leads us straight to our second big question. What happens when you become too dependent on that guide?
There's this fantastic story about this exact thing. A guru asks his student why he isn't practicing the techniques he's been taught, and the student's reply is so telling. He says he feels so good just being around the guru that he doesn't feel the need to do the inner work himself. Now, you might think, hey, that sounds pretty good, but the guru, he was deeply concerned. And to explain why, the guru used this brilliant analogy. Picture this. You're sitting on a train, just waiting to leave the station. Suddenly, you feel a jolt, a sense of motion, and you think, great, we're finally on our way. But then you look out the window, and you realize your train is still standing perfectly still. It was the train on the next track that started moving. What a perfect metaphor for mistaking your guide's spiritual progress for your own.
The guru then asked this simple but incredibly powerful question. It just cuts right to the heart of the matter. A guide can show you the way, for sure, but they can't walk the path for you. In the end, you are the one who has to take every single step.
So if a guru is a guide, but not a vehicle, then what exactly is a guru? Well, the definition is actually way broader and honestly a lot more profound than you might think.
The word itself gives us a huge clue. In Sanskrit, gu means darkness, and ru means that which removes. So a guru is, quite literally, a remover of darkness, any influence at all that brings light and clarity to your path.
And this is where we have to let go of all our stereotypes. A guru doesn't have to wear special robes or speak in ancient proverbs. It can be any person, any situation, or, maybe not even a person at all. So the real definition is this. A guru is any influence that helps you take the next step in your evolution. I mean, think about it. It could be a book you read at just the right time, a piece of music that completely moves you, a really difficult life event, or even just a conversation with a friend. The form it takes is way less important than the function it serves. So, where does all this leave us? Let's bring it all together and get super clear on the difference between the guide's role and your role in this whole journey. This really boils it down to a partnership, doesn't it? The guru shows the way, but you have to travel the journey. The guru removes the darkness, but you have to be the one to walk in the light. They can offer blessings and guidance, but only you can do the work.
And that leads to a final, really profound insight. Maybe the search for a guru isn't about looking out there at all. Maybe it's about preparing yourself on the inside. The idea is that when you are truly ready, the right guide for you will just appear. So this whole exploration kind of turns the question back on us, doesn't it? The focus shifts from "where is my guru" to "am I truly ready?" Because in the end, your readiness is the key. It's what unlocks the door. The only question left is, are you?